Boruto is the reincarnation of the god OTSUTSUKI. It's real or fake. And as we know, if Shibai OTSUTSUKI is one of the most mysterious characters in the Boruto universe. And since his appearance in Chapter 75, he has sparked deep speculation among fans. Many theories have sprung up, including the surprising assumption that Shibai may be the father figure of Kaguya OTSUTSUKI, and that is the founder of the OTSUTSUKI bloodline on Earth. However, the theories about Shibai's origins don't stop there. Some fans have even argued that Amado's true identity as a secret character is Shibai himself. Due to his abilities and being the owner of Shibai cells that were transplanted into several cyborg creations, it became a trigger hidden behind layers of mystery that have not been clearly revealed. It is true that Amado has said and also explained the origin of how he was able to get the cell. But as a scientist, of course, this is not entirely reliable. Moreover, he certainly will not reveal the real truth. Who knows, right? And if we talk about Shibai, there's another theory that may sound very crazy. Many fans think that the resurrection of Jugon in Boruto's body is not a mere coincidence, but the result of the influence of Shibai cells that may have been inherent in him. In other words, from this theory, it can also be interpreted if Boruto is part of the reincarnation of Shibai. So what do you think? Oh yeah, today is my day. Let's talk about some of the theories that have been circulating on the internet about Boruto that many people have assumed that he is the reincarnation of Shibai. But do you guys agree with this theory, guys? Let's start discussion about this. To be honest, this theory can be categorized as a little plausible with some very relevant evidence based on what has happened to Boruto. Starting from the Uzuhiko Rasengan to the Borushiki horns that appear are also very similar to Shibai's horns. But actually, there are still many similarities that are familiar about the theory that Boruto is the reincarnation of Shibai. Of all that, it seems to emphasize the extraordinary lineage to Boruto that many say if he is the reincarnation of Shibai. In addition to having Jugon, Momoshiki also once admitted that Boruto had inherited the great power of the Otsutsuki clan. All these clues seem to be clear evidence that forms a big theory. Is Boruto actually the reincarnation of Shibai? And to support this theory will sound more plausible. Let's look back at Chapter 13, where shortly before Jura killed Boruto. The incident where Jura wanted to kill Boruto after he was previously dying. Unexpectedly, Mamushi came as an intervention or distraction from Jura's plan to kill Boruto. Jura, who had intended to finish Boruto's life, unexpectedly he canceled his intention. Even Jura also stated that Boruto was very lucky, as if heaven had decided that Boruto should stay alive. Actually, if you look at Boruto's story in more detail, with Jura's statement that Boruto is lucky, it is not the first time. This is the second time Jura has said that Boruto is lucky. Take a look at the Boruto manga Blue Vortex, 4th chapter, a moment where Boruto for the first time managed to enter and infiltrate where Tail 10 was hiding. Unluckily, it became Boruto's first battle against Shinju. Jura declared to Boruto for the first time. He stated that Boruto was very lucky, and the meaning of Jura's statement is none other than because of their newly awakened egos. The curiosity for knowledge surpassed his original reasoning impulse to devour Boruto. So, in essence, the reason why Jura did not attack Boruto was because he was not ready to evolve to the perfect phase, and none other than because he had just awakened his ego. It all started with Shinju having a self-awareness that they never had before. In addition, Boruto should be completely dead, but he always comes back to life. And the reason why it can be like this, for example, when fighting against Momoshiki. Aren't you curious why Momoshiki couldn't see the future where Boruto defeated him? But from that fact, we can only conclude that it's because Boruto has an extraordinary level of luck. And there is also a probability of a relationship with Shibai OTSUTSUKI. He defeated Momoshiki and forced Momoshiki to use karma to come back to life through Boruto's body. Then began the incident where Boruto was supposed to die again but failed because of the help from Momoshiki. That was during the fight against Boro. And not only that, during the fight against Kawaki, he was also supposed to die, but thanks to Momoshiki, he managed to come back to life. And besides that fact, there are other facts that have been revealed in several previous chapters. In Chapter 79, Boruto was also supposed to die for trying to protect Sarada, who wanted to save Boruto from the threat of Kawaki. Because basically, based on the Jippo seen by Koji, the future path where Boruto dies at the hands of Kawaki really exists. But again, Boruto managed to avoid his death. And finally, this time Boruto managed to avoid his death from Shinju 2 times. This is not a coincidence. You should know that there have been 6 times that Boruto should have died, but he has survived until now. Then, do you realize why Kishimoto resurrected Koji by adding an ability to see the future? When in fact, doesn't Boruto himself have such an ability? Maybe the reason must be because Momoshiki did not want to use the ability to see the future for a while. If he uses the ability, Boruto must be aware that the future he sees will happen in the near future. And because of that, of course, Momoshiki doesn't want Boruto to prevent the future from happening. So Momoshiki tried not to use that power again, because basically Momoshiki wanted to control Boruto's body completely. But unfortunately, Momoshiki's plan failed because Boruto's destiny said otherwise. Fate has opened the way for Boruto to be able to see the future without Momoshiki's help anymore, namely through Koji. Maybe many people don't consider this, but try to consider it carefully. If Jippo Koji's ability is one of the abilities that Shibai once possessed, it means that Shibai should be able to see a future where there is a world without him. And for example, in chapter 75, Amado tells us that Shibai is no longer alive in their world. All that exists are his remains. He then goes on to theorize that Shibai either ascended to a higher dimension or he was killed by someone else. Although Amado's statement about Shibai OTSUTSUKI sounded like a lie and even dubious, Momoshiki confirmed that Amado was correct, that Shibai no longer existed in this dimension. From this revelation, it could be that the scenario where Shibai ascends to a higher dimension is the closest to the truth. But still, we'll never know where Shibai really is. And in chapter 75, about Akebi's death coinciding with Boruto's birth, this is a concern and a mystery. Maybe you won't fully accept this analysis, but does Akebi's death have anything to do with Shibai's reincarnation that occurred on planet Earth and incarnated through Boruto and Kawaki? Some believe that Ishiki and Kaguya are direct descendants of Shibai. They both uphold the principles and purposes of their father and the organization, but in reality, they both have different perspectives on what their father has been doing all along. Kaguya inherited the good perspective from Shibai, while Ishiki inherited the wrong perspective from Shibai. Unbeknownst to you, Kaguya and Ishiki are the 2 OTSUTSUKI who created this shinobi world. Indeed, it all started with Kaguya, who gave birth to offspring on this planet and caused most humans living on Earth to have the potential to inherit the power she once possessed. As for Ishiki, he never had a relationship with humans on Earth. Is the reality really like that? Ishiki OTSUTSUKI is a person who wants a perfect vessel for himself in the future. But unfortunately, how can he get such a vessel if he relies on humans who are born normally on this planet? So finally, he started a research on children who were selected by himself to get the quality of the perfect vessel body. He used Shibai cells to be able to create humans who could adapt to the great chakra he possessed. But try to use your logic. Trying to implant Shibai cells into humans and make them survive is a very impossible thing. You must know Orochimaru's history in creating Yamato, who successfully imitated Hashirama's power. He alone found it very difficult to clone Hashirama's ability in the children who were tested. Well, this probability is even higher than Hashirama's cells, namely Shibai's cells. It should be very impossible to get children who survive. But why did Code and Kawaki manage to survive the experiment? In my opinion, the most plausible answer is because they have strong Otsutsuki genes. It seems pretty certain that Code is from one of the clans with the most dominant Hagoromo genes. Either he's really from Uzumaki or from the clan with the most dominant Hagoromo gene that was supposed to be extinct, but he managed to be the only surviving member of the clan. As for Kawaki, I'm sure he's the continuation. It's true that this sounds like nonsense because there is no proof for this. But what if it could happen with some leaks and also some things that are familiar with events that have already happened, right? But the point is, with the various leaks and the miracles that Boruto has experienced so far, can we assume that Boruto is the reincarnation of Shibai, setting aside the discussion that he is the main character? Do you agree that this is a fact? I'm really looking forward to your opinions, guys, and again, you don't have to take this theory too seriously. If you have any other opinions, I would be happy to accept them. By the way, maybe that's it. for this theory. If you enjoy, I hope you'll be happy to give me likes and subs. I'm Nim. See you in the next episode. Bye bye, Data Bio.